Chapter 20. Sometimes night feels like a faceless terrible thing with claws, our wild thing with a black, palpitating heart. It rides on our backs, our fear growing with each step. I'm scared, Chico says under his breath. Relax, Pulga tells him. But I don't think Chico was talking to Pulga, or to me. I think he was telling the night he's scared, so maybe will take pity. Maybe she will leave us alone instead of reaching out, grabbing us, swallowing us whole. We move farther away from the street, scared now of any car that might go by. We can't trust anyone, but especially not now, not at night, when all kinds of darkness awaken. Pulga, I say finally, when it's apparent there are no taxis or houses or people or buildings nearby. It's okay if you don't know where we're going. Let's just figure out what to do, okay? Let's find a place to hide, camp out until the sun comes up. Out here, Chico says, his voice immediately filling with panic. I don't know what I thought, Pulga says, looking around. His voice is strangled, and I know if I could see his eyes, they would be filling with tears, but he clears his throat. Yeah, we'll hide out somewhere, he says. The softness gone now, the street smart tone back. No way, Chico says. My stomach clenches like a fist at the thought of spending the night out here, too. We'll figure things out in the morning. For now, let's just look for somewhere. But I thought you had this figured out, Pulga, Chico says. I thought you knew. Shut up, Pulga says. Tell me what you've done to get us this far. Tell me where we have to go next. Do you know? Chico's face is hurt and angry, and I try to reach for his hand. But he suddenly says, Wait, look, is that a house? Do you see? Over there? I try to make out where he's pointing in the distance. It is, he says, again. And I think he's right. There is a small house with fencing all around it. Let's knock, ask them to let us just stay for the night. Chico says, Are you crazy? For all we know, the house belongs to someone we want nothing to do with. Pulga says, Who knows who lives there? Or it might be a bandit, I said. If it is, it won't be for long. Someone might come there in the middle of the night, and I don't want to be there if they do. No, look, I think I see some toys out in the yard. That's gonna belong to a family. Come on. No, Chico, stop, Pulga says, but Chico is running toward it now, and we are hurrying behind him, Pulga whispering for him to stop to wait, but he doesn't. And as we get closer, I notice a dim light coming from the back of the house. Wait, Pulga warns again as Chico runs up to the tall chain-link fence, barbed wire along the top. But Chico's already yelling, Bueno, is someone home? Please? Pulga pulls Chico away from the fence, and I think I see the curtain move slightly at the front window, but it's dark, it's hard to tell. Bueno, Chico calls again, and suddenly a bright white floodlight is flipping on, so bright it partially blinds us, and I put on my arm up, shielding my eyes. I hear a door open, and the harsh voice of the man yelling out to us. Who's there? Who's out there? What do you want? I'm sorry, Chico calls. We crossed the river, and can't find a way to town. Please, senor, can you help us? We have nowhere to stay. The man takes a few steps, and I see his dark figure against the bright lights. I see the shotgun he carries in his hands, aimed right at us. He has a gun, I whisper to Pulga and Chico, but already Pulga and his hands are up. Please, senor, he yells. We are just 3 kids. Don't shoot. Please. We'll leave. We're sorry. Please don't shoot us. Chico cries. Please, we need help. Come on, Pulga says, grabbing onto Chico. Let's go. Keep your hands up. Walk away from here with your hands up. Senor, please, Chico begs. I'm sorry, but I'm not a shelter, and I don't care who you say you are. We need to leave, right now. Pero, senor, por favor, Chico cries. You don't have to let us inside your house. We'll sleep out here, on your patio, please. Get out of here. I can't help you. There's a cemetery up the road, where migrants sleep. Go there. Pero, senor, Chico begs, his voice full of depression. The old man cocks the gun. I'm warning you, kid. Come on, Pulga urges. Chico, come on. You're gonna get us killed. Pulga takes a step back, pulling Chico back with one hand, while he keeps the other one in the air. Chico holds on the fence, and like raft, and Pulga yells at him again. I'm serious, Chico, he says, pulling him so hard. Stop, Chico yells, clutching on the fence tighter. I don't want to sleep in a cemetery, please. Chico is bigger, stronger than Pulga. Nothing Pulga does or says makes him let go. I said go, the man yells. Come on, Chiquito, I whispered. Come on, we'll be together, okay? I promise you'll be okay. I'll take care of you. I'll tell him gently. Please, okay? He starts crying, but finally he nods. Finally he lets go of the fence. The cemetery's about 10 minutes that way, the old man says, pointing his gun. You'll see the tombs. That's all I can help you with. And don't come back here again. We walk away backward, away from the house. After a few minutes, the bright floodlights goes out, and we are enveloped in the night once again. Chico, crying, fills in the silence as we walk. It's all right, Pulga whispers, his voice tinged with irritation, but mostly compassion. I pull him close to me, hold him tighter so he won't be so afraid, but I can feel how his body shakes. I want to go home, he says. We can't do this. I can't do this. Yes, you can, Pulga says. Look right there. I think that's at the cemetery. You think that's comforting? I'm scared of muertos, Chico says. There are good spirits, Chiquito. Ones that help us, I tell him. Mark making out the shadows up ahead, tombs rising out of the darkness. There's bad ones too, he says, and I think of the stories Mommy has told me about spirits, how they can be angry about leaving this life, and of the bad things to be living, how they roam the streets and the cemetery at night, waiting. We don't have a choice, Pulga says. Chico sucks his teeth. But he knows Pulga's right. Turning back now is impossible. We walked slowly to the cemetery, crickets chirping loudly as we approached the tombs cautiously. I tried to open my eyes wider, trying to take in everything to detect any movement. We try not to make any noise as we come up on the tombs. We walk in, but not too far. I feel like we're being watched. I strain my eyes, looking for others, and I think I see figures on the ground. I think I hear whisperings rising in the stagnant night air, but I can't be sure, and I don't know who they are. Aren't they like us? Or they like to hunt? Here, I whisper to Pulga and Chico, ducking down and behind the tomb. Let's just stay here. Okay, Pulga says quickly. Chico is breathing so hard, but he doesn't cry. He holds on to me tighter. Even as we settle in, he grabs onto me and tucks his body against me. I get a flash of that baby, and it takes my breath away. An electric pulse runs through my breasts, and I feel for wetness on my bandage. I wrapped tight around my chest. Just a small amount of milk. But I swear I hear a heartbeat, and I don't know if it's mine or Chico's or that baby's. A sick feeling washes over me, and tears spring to my eyes, but I wipe them away quickly. I won't cry for something I never wanted and can't love. We lie back against the concrete slab, and I look up at the sky, and I wonder if my bruja angel will come if I call for her, if she'll whisk us away from her here and deliver us to the border if I wish it hard enough. I stare at the sky, looking at her and the stars. It seems impossible that a sky can be so full of them. It seems impossible that anything beautiful can exist. I hear Chico take small quivering breaths, trying not to cry. Look at the stars, Chiquito, I whispered. Look at the stars. And listen to the crickets, and don't let anything else fill your mind. I'll stay awake. You can rest, I tell him. I reach for his hand and hold it. He squeezes my hand and looks up. I hear rustling in the grass, and I tell myself it is just insects and rodents. And I try not to think of Ray, a cockroach who scurries through the cracks and defies doors and locks and windows. I imagine his cockroach legs scurrying through the streets of barrios, climbing on the bus and let us here, onto the raft that crossed us into Mexico. I imagine him spending his time waiting to climb up my leg as I lie here, to scurry across my torso, my breast, my neck, to whisper in my ear, I'm here, I found you, you can't run away from me. I wait for him, for ghosts, for the cries of the dead, for la bruja. The crickets chirp louder. Callando, 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 they say. Chico is balled up as small as possible, tucked next to me on one side, Pulga on the other, and together we outwait night. I feel some bleeding, blood leaking from between my legs, and hope it is not enough to soak through my pads I layered there. Day will come, I whisper, and it will, because the world doesn't care how much pain you are in, or what terrible thing has happened to you. It continues. Morning comes, whether you want it or not. Bugs crawl on me as we wait. Mosquitoes and ants bite me. and I don't smack them away. Any movement might wake up Chico and Pulga. Instead, when I feel them sting, I think of Ray and let it remind me why I'm running. I close my eyes and dream of bugs entering my ears, my nose, of them crawling down my throat. I wake up the sound of fly in my ear, and my eyes snap open to a bright white and voice too close. Pequena, I reach for the knife in my pocket, and with a quick press of a button, the switch click. The blade shoots out, within inches of Chico's face. He shrinks back, stunningly wide awake, and he and Puka both stare at me, at the blade. Sorry, I told Chico, my hand still clutched tightly around the handle, as others in the cemetery, men, women, children, emerge from behind the tombs, began walking toward the road. Let's go, Pulga says, staring at me at the knife. I put it away, and we hurry, following the people staggering out of the cemetery. The warmth of the sun gets hotter with each step. The humidity grows thicker. My skin slicks with sweat as we pass a few little houses. We pass fruit vendors and then small stores and a run-down restaurant. And slowly the world seems to bustle around us as we enter town, as more cars and motor scooters and people with commercials zip past. Look, Pulgas says, gesturing to a driver leaning against his car, smoking a cigarette. I think that's a taxi. Let's see if people take us to the shelter. The tall, lanky man stares at us as we approach. Pardon, senor. Can you take us to the Belen shelter in Tatapaluca? Pulga says to him. The man looks us over, takes in our clothes, our backpacks. You have to pay in advance. Pulga digs in his backpack and takes out an envelope full of money in dollars, quetzales and pesos. The guy stares at him, then laughs and shakes his head as he takes another drag. I look around, wondering if anyone saw. You're lucky I don't steal from kids. Here's some advice. Don't pull all that money out in front of anyone, especially those dollars. You're not going to get far making mistakes like that. Pulga nods, looking embarrassed, and like a little kid. I take a deep breath and push away the fear and worry I've kept at bay. I think instead about where I would have slept last night if I hadn't run away. The man gestures for us to get in the car, where it is even hotter than outside and smells of heat and sweat and baby powder. We pull away from the curb, and as we drive through the streets, more people seem to appear out of nowhere. People on foot clutching on their black backpacks. People who look lost and dazed. People who woke from the dead. People who look like us.